is your mind hiding?
The reason your mind is naturally drawn toward fear and negative thoughts lies deep inside your brain. A small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. This tiny part of the brain has one main job: to detect danger. Thousands of years ago, this system helped humans survive in a world full of predators and threats. But today, that same survival system may be causing many of the fears inside your mind. Imagine a person walking alone at night. The street is quiet. Suddenly, they hear a small sound behind them. Immediately, their heart begins to race. Their breathing becomes faster. Their mind starts imagining danger. But when they turn around, there is nothing there. Just the wind moving a piece of paper across the road. Nothing dangerous happened. But their brain had already activated its fear response system, because the amygdala prefers to assume danger first and ask questions later. Neuroscientists at New York University studied how the amygdala reacts to potential threats. Using brain imaging scans, researchers found that the amygdala can activate before the conscious mind even understands what it is seeing. This means your brain can start preparing for danger milliseconds before you realize what is happening. In other words, your brain sometimes reacts emotionally before logic has time to catch up, which explains why fear can feel so sudden and overwhelming. This is also why horror movies feel so powerful. When you watch a frightening scene, you know it is just a movie. But your brain does not fully treat it that way. Your amygdala still reacts. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tighten, your mind becomes alert. Even though you are sitting safely in your home, your brain behaves as if something dangerous might appear at any moment. And this reveals another secret of the human brain. Your mind is constantly trying to predict the future, but prediction can also create something far more dangerous than fear. Because when your brain begins predicting problems that do not exist, it can trap you inside cycles of anxiety and negative thinking. And the next secret of the human brain explains why your mind sometimes becomes addicted to certain thoughts, even when those thoughts are making you unhappy. The brain is not just a reactive organ. It is a proactive storyteller, weaving narratives to keep us safe, even when the threat is gone. But understanding this secret gives you the power to challenge those narratives, to stop the cycle. By noticing the amygdala's alarm, you can remind your logic that the street is empty and the paper is just paper. In the silence of understanding, the mind finally finds its rest, and the real world begins. Stay curious about the mysteries inside you. The journey has only just begun.
Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that your brain has been lying to you your entire life. The memories you trust, the fears you feel, and even the reality you see may not be exactly what they seem. Because scientists have discovered something disturbing about the human brain. Your mind is not just observing reality. Sometimes it is secretly changing it. In 2013, neuroscientists at MIT conducted an experiment that shocked the scientific world. They discovered that memories are not stored in the brain like videos. Instead, every time you remember something, your brain reconstructs the memory again. During this experiment, scientists were able to implant a completely false memory into the brains of laboratory mice. The mice began to fear a place where nothing bad had ever happened. Their brain had created a memory that was never real. If scientists can manipulate memory in the brain, how many of your own memories have quietly been rewritten by your mind over time?
But the next secret of the human brain is even darker, because it explains something that almost everyone has experienced. That moment when your mind simply refuses to stop thinking. You try to sleep, you close your eyes, but your brain suddenly begins replaying memories, imagining conversations, creating problems that don't even exist. This is called the overthinking loop, and your brain may actually be designed to do it. Imagine a man lying in bed at night. The room is quiet, nothing is happening, but inside his mind, hundreds of thoughts begin racing. Did I say the wrong thing today? What if something goes wrong tomorrow? What if I fail? What if everything I've worked for falls apart? Within minutes, his brain has created an entire world of worries that do not exist. But to his mind, those fears feel completely real. And this is where the brain reveals one of its darkest tricks. Your brain cannot easily distinguish between real danger and imagined danger. A famous psychology experiment at Stanford University studied how the brain reacts to imagined threats. Researchers discovered that when people only imagined something stressful, their brain activated many of the same fear circuits as when they experienced real danger. In other words, your brain reacts to imagined problems almost the same way it reacts to real ones, which means your thoughts alone can create fear inside your body. This is why overthinking feels so powerful, because to your brain, those imagined scenarios feel real. But overthinking is not just a psychological habit. It is connected to something much deeper in the brain. Something that helped humans survive for thousands of years. A system inside your brain designed to constantly search for danger. And once you understand how this system works, you will realize why your brain sometimes feels like it is working against you. Because the next secret of the human brain explains something even more disturbing. Why your mind is naturally drawn to negative thoughts and fear, even when your life is completely safe. And this hidden survival system inside your brain might be the reason your thoughts sometimes feel impossible to control.
A few moments ago, we discovered something disturbing. Your brain is constantly predicting danger. But prediction is only one part of the story, because the human brain has another powerful system that can make certain thoughts almost addictive. And this system is connected to a chemical inside your brain called dopamine. Neural signals moving through the brain, glowing synapses firing. This is the foundation of our reward system. Imagine someone scrolling through their phone late at night. They see a message that makes them slightly uncomfortable. Maybe it reminds them of a mistake they made earlier. Instead of ignoring the thought, their brain begins replaying it. Again, and again, and again. Within minutes, their mind has built an entire story around a single, small moment. And suddenly, they cannot stop thinking about it. This is not simply a habit. It is your brain's reward system at work. It's a loop that's hard to break. Researchers studying the brain's reward system discovered something fascinating. When your brain solves a problem or finds new information, it releases dopamine. This chemical creates a small feeling of satisfaction. But here is the strange part. Your brain sometimes releases dopamine not when a problem is solved, but when it is searching for answers. Which means your brain may continue thinking about something because it is rewarded for trying to figure it out. This is why people sometimes become trapped in endless thinking loops. Imagine someone lying awake at night. Their brain asks a simple question. What if something goes wrong tomorrow? The brain begins searching for answers, and every possible scenario creates another thought, another possibility, another problem. Hours pass, and the person is still thinking. Not because they want to, but because their brain keeps rewarding the search for answers. But dopamine and thought loops are still not the most mysterious part of the human brain, because the next secret reveals something even more incredible. Your brain does not simply react to reality. It is constantly constructing reality. And scientists believe that what you see, hear, and experience every day is actually a simulation created inside your mind. The boundary between mind and world is thinner than you think.
All the secrets we explored so far, memory manipulation, fear prediction, and thought loops, are only part of the incredible story of the human brain, because the most mysterious activity in the brain may happen at the moment when consciousness begins to fade. And scientists are only just beginning to understand what happens during those final moments. In recent years, neuroscientists studying brain activity made an unexpected discovery. During a study observing brain signals near the end of life, researchers recorded a sudden surge of complex neural activity. For a brief moment, the brain appeared to become extremely active, almost as if it was processing something important. Some scientists believe this surge could be connected to the brain rapidly replaying memories. Others think the brain may be trying to make sense of the final moments of consciousness. But the truth is, no one fully understands it yet. Imagine a person sitting quietly, remembering moments from their life, childhood laughter, a first friendship, a place they once loved. The human brain stores millions of memories, each one a small piece of a life story. And in those final moments of deep reflection, some scientists believe the brain may briefly revisit those memories, not as a simple list of events, but as a powerful experience created inside the mind. This possibility leads to one of the most fascinating questions in neuroscience. Is the brain simply shutting down? Or is it trying to understand something about consciousness itself? Because the human brain is the most complex structure known in the universe. Nearly 86 billion neurons working together to create thoughts, memories, dreams, and identity. And despite decades of research, scientists are still uncovering its secrets. Your brain is not just an organ, it is the place where your entire reality exists. Every sight you see, every emotion you feel, every memory you hold, is created inside this extraordinary network of neurons. And perhaps the most fascinating mystery of all is that the brain studying these secrets is the same brain inside your own mind.